Thank you for watching today as we go into making a quick homemade pizza dough for our Ooni pizza oven. And really the need for that comes up of normally when our family decides to make pizza, it's at the last minute. We have teenagers, there's always sports events going on or some running around in our household. And as much as I like a good Polish dough, I really normally don't have 2 to 3 days to spend making it. We'll cover some of those recipes. We have some great hydrations that we found in the future, but really wanted to just go through something that you can make with about 30 minutes worth of effort total that can be done on the same day and still have a really good quality of dough for that. Also, if you're new to using a stone pizza oven that's high temperatured, anything above probably 700 degrees, don't go and just use a pre-made dough ball that you can buy at a grocery store. Those really contain way too much sugar. It'll just burn to a crisp right away. That's normally how you get a lot of the charred sides on it for newcomers into the space. You really want to make your own dough or find something specific with a 00 pizza flour. This I got at Kroger. You can pretty much get it at any grocery store now. There's some great brands that you can order online and have shipped to your home. But normally, if I'm going quick, I'm going to just pick up whatever's at the grocery store. But you do want to try to make sure it's the 00 pizza flour just for that traditional recipe. So to start with, I have 2 cups of warm water. I am going to use an instant yeast for this. If you're using a dry yeast, you're going to want to let it actually sit in the water a little more. I still like to activate mine, even though I really don't have to, within the warm water to start with and get that stirred in. I'm using a little less than a tablespoon in this case. If I was having just a dry activated yeast, I would do a full teaspoon on it, and we'll put a link to the recipe in the notes for the episode. So this is a recipe straight off Ooni's website, and found it just because I was trying to find something consistently that I could make fast for the family and still use our pizza oven. So I have my yeast and my warm water. I'm also going to do a tablespoon of salt within this recipe. So this recipe will generally make 5 250 gram dough balls. Sometimes I'll get like a little extra that I'll use for making some breadsticks on it. But even though we're a family of 4, I always like to keep the extra dough ball just in case there's some incidents and we need it. So we're going to go ahead and get our 6 cups of flour. And this can be done either hand mixing or in a mixer of your choice, like my KitchenAid. So now that I have my flour in here, I'm going to go ahead and add my salt. And then the other thing I like to do is just kind of spritz the handle down with some olive oil on that just to make sure it doesn't stick. I may still try to ride up it a bit. And we're going to run this on low. if you don't end up using the olive oil on it, a lot of times you'll see where it'll completely light up. You've seen where it kind of goes up a bit and then it'll drop back down. And so it's doing pretty good getting mixed up. Sometimes I will still stop it and just reopen that up and then just use a little blade just to cut it off and kind of reset it. You can always even add a little more spritz of olive oil to it again. I normally let this mix in the mixer for about 4 minutes. If you're kneading it by hand, you would generally do it for about 8 to 10 minutes. All right, so we're going to go ahead and shut it down. And I'm just going to use my cutter here to off, and I'm just going to transfer it over. Just going to spray some olive oil in the pan, spritzer here, and then pull this out. So I'm just going to get this into a nice ball. Cover it up so it's, and set it off to the side. And then what we'll end up doing is covering it for about 20 to 30 minutes, and then we'll come back to actually form our dough balls and get the last steps ready for our actual pizza tonight. Okay, we're going to check on our dough now that it's been 20 to 30 minutes for it to rise. And you can see the dough's about doubled in size, which is really what you want to see. So we'll go ahead and start breaking it down into individual dough balls. All right. So for this, you could have a little scale or something, but I tend to go by feel, and just to try to get like about a handful of it for these, and then just kind of knead it and roll it until you get a nice dough ball. You can always add some more after if you need to as well, but just fold it underneath until you have nice dough balls. And something like this, you could use a metal one. This is just a plastic one that we had. Comes in handy just to be able to slice through it, but you could really use anything. And so, and if you see our dishes at all, this is real life. So, one good thing about like kind of the time in between when the dough rises and everything is, you know, making your own pizza sauce, making your own dough can really add up as far as pots and pans and everything. So kind of in between and spreading it out throughout the day. I like to keep all the dishes clean in between so it doesn't stack up for a bigger mess later on. And so as predicted, this came up with right about 5 dough balls, so I'll probably use one as a backup, and then if I don't need it, have some breadsticks, but sometimes things do happen. I'm just going to spritz a little bit of olive oil on the top of this and just rub that on the top. And then I'm going to set this aside until we make it. I normally just use any cookie sheet just to store this for now. And I'll just cover this and set it aside until I'm ready.